We've got the motor all, well, pretty much all back together. Needs a new exhaust. All the injectors are in, made all that, forgot those things, put them back on, unbolted, rebolted. All this unbolting and rebolting and stuffing around, it happens when you leave things for a couple of years and the brain just doesn't remember. Old exhaust is, well, a bit exhausted. Another bad pun, taught from my father. So I'm going to make a new one. First thing I'm going to do is make a plate to go onto here. So anyone that knows me by now knows that I make a lot of stuff that I probably don't need to, but for some mysterious reason I get a lot of enjoyment out of making things, especially out of rubbish. I can't explain that. Thank you, Dad. You taught me these things. You've left me with this curse. Anyway, have a look at this. So this part here, this big bit of steel, is off a land plane. And I searched for a bit of flat, and this is all I could find. So I've drilled a hole with a hole saw, drilled the other 4 holes to sit that, and now I just need to cut him out. So, there we go. Another thing made. This bit of wood here represents the sweep. This is, I think it's called an engine pipe, the first bit off the manifold before the muffler. And the muffler is going to sit here, like a big can, with a bit out the side. So I need to establish, I want it to go as close as I can to the top without, actually, so it's about 35 inches, 36 inches would be the full height I have to work with. So if, say, I want the can to be 18 inches long, for the can on the muffler, that leaves me about 9 inches to have a sweep, a bend on this end, and about the same down there. So I reckon probably do about 20 inches. Let's assume that this white pipe here is the top of the bonnet, hood, whatever you want to call it, depending on the part of the world you're from. I'm from Australia, so it's the bonnet. That's the top of the sweep, so that leaves me an idea of a measurement of how much room I have to build a can. So I've got about 25 inches, 26 inches say, to build the can, put the thing on the top. You can actually see, this is the old pipe here, I don't know if you can see it there, you can see what's been under the bonnet and what hasn't. That would be about here. You can change its colour, like this is all up inside the old muffler. And this pipe here then needs to be 36 all up. And then I've got about 36 all up. So that leaves me with about, actually leaves me about 28. From the tip of the bend to the, so that leaves me 20, I don't know if you can hear this, that leaves me 28 inches from the tip of the bend, where it bends out so the water doesn't run in, to the top of the bonnet. That's right, I think. I don't flippin' know. Am I really that smart? No, I'm not. So, from this here, that runs down, and they generally come down and they curve around and hook onto the hard nose of the dozer. That's called the sweep. And this here is called the canopy. So when we build the sweeps, they've got to come down and around, and you don't want the exhaust hanging out the top, because otherwise if you're working in bush, something will, as a branch goes past and it gets swept past, it'll take the top of the exhaust off. So we know we've got about 28 inches from the bonnet to the top of the exhaust, and we've got 36 inches from the exhaust manifold, goes off to the 4 pots, to the top of the sweep. So we've got this bit, and now we're going to make that bit there. 36 minus 28. 8 from 6 doesn't go, cross it out, make that to 2, carry the 1, 8 from 16 goes 8, 2 from 2 goes 0. So it means this here needs to be about 8 inches long. So, as always, there's more to the story. Now, bear with me while I draw a non-technical diagram. A muffler on a lot of machinery either looks like this, with the exhaust out the top, and goes down onto the manifold, like that, or, on the next page up here, or it looks like this, exhaust out the top, down onto the manifold. Alright, so these are curved on top so the water runs off. Now I reckon the ones that last the best are actually, most are curved on the bottom like this, but they reckon they rust more. Could be wrong. Or you get the other ones, they're curved like this on the bottom, sorry, other ones are curved like that on the bottom and on the top. And I'm guessing the downside is, these ones here, if water gets in, every drop runs inside the motor. Once this internal pipe has got a hole in it, and these ones here, at least it's got a chance of running to the outside. Time will tell. Anyway, so I've got to find something with a bit of a curve. So what's going to happen is the exhaust will come up through here, up to the top of this internal pipe, straight off the manifold. There'll be holes at the top. It'll come out of there, inside the baffle, inside, and there'll be another row of holes on the baffle before it goes out up here. I might shove some chicken wire and shoot in as I'm building it in this first section here. More maths. So the exhaust will come up through 2.5 inch, through all the holes in here. This will be about a 6-inch pipe. It'll come back down through there, through a whole lot more holes, and I'll make this here about 10 inch. I don't have 10 inch, but I'll split a bit of 6 inch and spread it out and join it back together. It might be 9 inches, I'm thinking. So yeah, 2.5 to 6 to 9, then up through the doohickey on top. When you look at a muffler on a tractor or dozer or that type of machine, they're actually domed on top, sort of, and on the bottom, to so the water doesn't sit in there. If it was like a normal car one, they actually have a lip. This would be down flat below this thing and it'd be welded, because a car one goes horizontally and these sit vertically. So I've got to try to replicate this taper on top. And I have a plan. The plan is, I'm going to use old discs off a set of disc harrows. And cut the guts out of them, a couple of circles, top and the bottom. And here they are here. Now if I look up here, this is the engine pipe, I don't know what you want to call it. The first bit after the exhaust manifold. The bonnet of course goes across the top, or the hood, depending on the type part of the world you're from. We'll call it the bonnet, and this has to come through the bonnet. So the question is, how do I get the muffler, the can off the top, through the bonnet without cutting a big hole? I have a plan. So if I put a female thread inside the bottom of the can and have a male thread going to the bottom of the can, off the engine pipe up in there, I can just unscrew it on and off. That's my thoughts. Will it work? I don't know. Should do. So that's what I'm starting with. So we'll cut this bit of thread off. This is 3-inch water pipe. It'll be 3-inch BSP because British standard pipe. I don't know what Americans call it. They have a different size. In the UK, well, in Australia, everything's BSP. So I'll cut this bit here off for the thread to weld inside the bottom of one of those bottom bits over there. And then it's a bit of a long story. You'll see it'll all come together, I hope. And if it doesn't, I'm an idiot. But we already knew that. And then this bit here, I've got to get this bit of thread out because there's only a bit of 3-inch thread I've got. We'll bluff our way through it. Okay, so I've cut my elbow apart, got that half, and the threaded bit off. and magically they screw together. This is what I'm up to with my exhaust. So it comes through, this is the bottom of the can, comes through the thread, off the engine pipe, down pipe, up pipe, I don't know what you call it, it'll come up. Now here, I don't know whether we can see, but there's a whole lot of centre punched holes. It'll come out through this first set of tubes, because this will be capped off here. It will then come down. There'll be another pipe on here, that'll be open on the bottom. Then it'll come out of there, back up, through this next set of holes, back up, through this next set of holes here, then up and out the top.